Welcome back to another English grammar series today, and you are watching Learn English with Priyanka Chaudhary. Today we are going to learn one of the most important topics in English. Any guesses? Verbs. If you understand verbs, you can understand sentences. And if you master verbs, you can master English, really. So let's start learning verbs in the easiest and the simplest way. And you know what is the interesting thing about verbs? That just a single word like go and come, which are verbs, really frame sentences. Yes, if you just say a word go, that's a sentence. If you say come, this is also a sentence. Isn't this interesting? Let's explore some more interesting facts about verbs. Let's understand this first, that what is a verb? A verb is a word that tells us what a person or thing does, or what condition they are in, or what they have. Means verb tells you three things. First, what they do, action. Second, their situation or condition. And the third, their possession. What do they actually possess? That's what verbs do. Let's try to understand this with some examples. So if I say, I am happy. So here, I am happy in this sentence, I am expressing my situation with you, that what is my state. I am happy, right? So here in this sentence, am is a verb. And if I am saying, you are watching this video. So in this sentence, you are watching this video, the verb is watching. You are doing something, action. And the next one, if I say she has a bicycle, so here I'm talking about possession, that what does she possess? So she possesses a bicycle. So here in this sentence, the verb is has. So she has a bicycle, has is a verb. I hope you're getting my point. So what you understood with these examples, that verbs show three things: action, state, and possession. These three things. Moving on further, verbs can be classified into different types or categories. So there are many types of verbs that we are going to cover each and every type with example. So let's understand all important types of verbs with very easy examples. Let's understand the first type of verb. This is action verbs. Action verbs. These verbs show action, something that you can do with your body or your mind. That is action. So what can we do with our body or mind? We can run, jump, eat, think, write. These all are actions. Example, she runs fast. So here, runs, action verb. I think about you. So here, think is an action verb. Now you tell me, you give me a sentence using the action verb. Write down in the comment. Okay, move on to the next type of verb. This is gonna be stative verbs. Stative. What are these? These verbs show a state, not an action. Means your condition, your situation, what is your state. They talk about feelings, your thoughts, your emotions or conditions. These are stative verbs. Let me help you with some examples. So the words like love, hate, know, believe, belong, these all are stative verbs. Let's fix these words in sentence. I know the answer, no. She loves her dog, loves, stative verb. I just hate summer season. So hate, stative verb. Now let's understand the next type of verb, which is transitive verbs. Transitive. These verbs need an object to complete the meaning. Means if there is no object in a sentence, the meaning is incomplete. What does it mean? For example, if there is a sentence like she wrote a letter. So in this sentence, she is subject, a letter is object, And where is the verb? Wrote is the verb. And wrote is the past form of the word write. Okay, so wrote is the verb here. So in this sentence, she wrote a letter, there is object, and that's why this word, which is wrote, is a transitive verb. One more example. If I say that I eat an apple, so I, subject, apple is object, and eat, very nice, a verb. So this is a transitive verb because in this sentence you can see there is an object. Very nice. Moving on to the next type of verb, this is intransitive verbs. This is totally opposite of transitive. So intransitive verbs are those where the object is not needed or required to complete the meaning, means there is no need. I mean, the sentence is itself meaningful without the need of object. Example, if I am saying I'm laughing, we don't need an object here, right? I'm laughing. So laughing is an intransitive verb. If I say she's playing, it's sufficient to know the meaning. So playing is intransitive verb. Now here is another sentence before you. The baby laughed. So which one is the intransitive verb here? Try to guess. Okay, moving on to the next type of verb. This is regular verbs. Regular verbs. These verbs form the past tense simply by adding ed. These are regular verbs. So if you just add ed with the words, like these are the verbs, walk, clean, or you can say talk or play. If you will just add ed, so it will be walked, cleaned, played, or talked. Okay, so these ed words will be regular verbs, all right, which are very easy to use. Okay, so let's have a look at the sentence. She played piano. Next one. They talked too much. So talked and played are regular verbs, where you will find ed with the verbs. That's all. It's very easy to identify, isn't it? Okay, moving on to the next type of verbs here. The next one is gonna be irregular verbs. Irregular, these verbs are not going to be the regular one like the previous. So these verbs do not follow the ed rule. Means you will not be finding the letter combination of ed with the verbs, right? So what kind of verbs are these? Example, go becomes went in past, totally different. It doesn't become goed, no. Eat turns into ate, okay, and see becomes saw. Similarly, fly becomes flew, and think becomes thought. There are a number of irregular verbs that you have to learn if you want to frame sentences in past. So these need to be memorized. So here is the list of some irregular verbs, and I would advise you to learn a few of them. Okay, moving on to the next type of verbs. These are gonna be auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs means helping verbs, you can say. So these verbs support the main verb in a sentence. They do not have anything significant to do. They do not contribute so much in framing sentences, in the meaning of sentence, okay? So they just help the main verb. Like the be verbs, be forms, have, do. Be forms of verbs are these, like is, am, are, was, were. These are the be forms of verbs. And in this sentence, she is studying. So here study is the main verb, but the word is just supporting the main verb studying. So is auxiliary verb. If I say I do not know, so in this sentence know is the main verb, but the word do is an auxiliary verb. It is assisting the main verb in a sentence. So that is an auxiliary verb which helps the main verb. Great. Now I would like you to figure out the auxiliary verb in this sentence. They have finished. The auxiliary verb here is have. Good job. Okay, now let's move on to the next type of verbs, and this is modal verbs. Modal. Yes, modal verbs. These verbs show ability, permission, possibility, or necessity. So these type of verbs that show permission, possibility, ability, necessity, these are modal verbs. You might have read these words in your textbooks or might have heard somewhere the words like these: can, could, may, might, will, would, should, ought to, these all. So the sentence, she can dance, can is a modal verb. You must study hard, must is a modal verb. What is interesting about modal verb is that the modal verbs do not at all change as per the tense. They remain same, whatever the tense is. Alright, so there is no change. And here is another sentence before you, and you have to figure out which one is the modal verb. You should subscribe to my channel if you want to learn English grammar well. Which one is the modal verb? Well, the answer is should. Good. Next one. Now here we are going to hit the next type of verb, and this is linking verb. Linking. These verbs do not show action. They link the subject to its description. That's all. Common linking verbs are like these, like is, am, are, look, seem. Okay. Now you must be thinking that auxiliary verbs are also same. No, there is difference. Have a look at this. She is tired. Okay. So this is linking word. She is tired is linking verb here, and he seems upset. No action is there. Seems linking verb. So there is no action taking place like running, writing, thinking. No action is there. So therefore in this sentence is are linking verbs, or you can say another sentence you can have a look at. They are happy. Happy is not a verb, right? Not an action verb. So are here in this sentence is a linking verb. Great. Here we have the next type of verb, which is finite verbs. Finite. These verbs change according to the subject or tense. They keep changing. Example, if I want to say something in present, then I would say I teach. Okay. Now if I want to say the same sentence, I mean in past, then I cannot say I teach. I have to say I taught. This is finite verb. She goes to school and they go to school. So according to the subject, the verb go changes. Sometimes it is goes and the next time it is go. That is finite verb. Okay, please have a look at this image here. It will give you more clarity about finite verbs. Great. Now let's move on to the next type of verb, and this is non-finite verbs. Non-finite. These verbs do not change. This is the completely opposite of finite. So they do not change no matter what happens, who the subject is, what the tense is, it doesn't matter at all. So these are non-finite verbs. There are three types of non-finite: infinitive, gerund, and participle. So infinitive are like to go, to eat, these are, and gerund are like going, eating, okay, and participle are like gone, eaten, like these, played. These are participle. Now example, have a look at some sentence. So if you want to say to eat is important, okay, so there is no subject here actually in this sentence. It doesn't matter. These are non-finite verbs. And I like playing. I like playing. I can also say she likes playing. So playing here is non-finite verb. Okay. If I want to say smoking is injurious to health. So in this sentence, which one is non-finite? Smoking. Very good. I hope it is clear to you all. Well done. Moving on to the next type of verbs, and this is phrasal verbs, which are really, really crucial to speak English. Without phrasal verbs, we cannot talk fluently, and we cannot express ourselves without using phrasal verbs in English, right? So we have to understand what are these. So what are phrasal verbs? You know, when you see a verb with a preposition just after that word or any adverb, and the meaning altogether completely changes, then it is a phrasal verb. You didn't get it? Okay, let me give you an example. So here the word is look after. So look and after. When you use these two words all together, it becomes look after, and the meaning is take care of. Take care of. Have a look at the next phrasal verb here. It is give up. So give is a verb and up is preposition. When you use these two words together, it becomes give up, which has a completely different meaning. It means to stop. Next phrasal verb, turn on. Again, the verb with a preposition. Turn on means to switch on. Now, how to use these phrasal verbs in sentences? So, if you want to say to take care of, so rather than using the entire phrase, you can say, I look after my mom. Don't give up learning English. So, give up means don't stop learning English. So easy. So, here have a look at these phrasal verbs and try to use them in your speaking. And don't forget to learn the meaning as well. Let's move on further to our next type of verb, which is causative verbs. Causative. These verbs show that someone makes someone else do something. Means you are not doing. You are making someone else do that particular thing. Example of some causative verbs are make, let, have. Let's have a look at the sentence. I made him clean the room. I did not clean the room. I made him clean the room. So here made is causative verb. She let me go out. She let me go out. So here in this sentence, let is a causative verb. Okay. I did not go out by myself. She let me go out. All right. Another person's involvement is there. So then it is a causative verb. Have a look at this one. I got my house painted this year. I did not paint my house. I got my house painted. So here in this sentence, got is a causative verb. Have a look at this sentence and you tell me now which one is a causative verb. Have a look at the next and the last type of verb, which is reflexive verb. Reflexive verbs take reflexive pronoun. Remember we did this in our lesson on pronoun, types of pronoun, myself, herself, or ourselves, themselves, like that. Same. So if the sentence is she hurt herself. So in this sentence, herself is not reflexive verb, that is a pronoun. She hurt herself. In this sentence, what is the verb? Hurt is the reflexive verb. Have a look at the next sentence. I taught myself guitar. So here myself is not a verb, that is a pronoun. Taught is a reflexive verb here. So the word taught is a reflexive verb. That's all. So we are done with learning different types of verbs, and I hope you thoroughly enjoyed and you clearly understood each and every types of verbs with examples. Well, moving on further, now we are going to understand the different forms of verbs. That what are these? You know, the forms of verbs are really significant to learn if you want to speak in English clearly, and if you want to be really expressive, you want other person to understand your thoughts and ideas, then you really have to work on learning different forms of verbs. Now there are three major forms of verbs. V1 is the base form, For example, teach. V2 is the past form of verb, you can say, which you use in the past tense. Teach becomes taught. And then there is the past participle, which is V3, and it becomes taught again. So, teach, taught, taught. Similarly, there are multiple forms of verbs like do, did, done, eat, ate, eaten, or play, played, played. The regular verbs I just told you a couple of minutes ago, regular verbs. And there are some more verbs like fly, flew, flown, swim, swam, swum, or drink, drank, drunk, think, thought, thought. So there are so many. So here I am attaching this picture. Just have a look at this and you will have some idea that what I am actually trying to make you understand, that these are the forms that you have to learn for speaking English, for framing sentences in English. Alright, so these are called the different forms of verbs. And where do we need them? We need to learn these verbs to express ourselves clearly in different tense, right? If I'm talking in present, I have to use the first form of verb, right? If I want to say something in past, I have to use the next and mean the V2, second form of the verb, right? If I want to say something in present perfect or past perfect, something perfect, then I'll be using V3 form of the verb. So this is how we use these three forms of verbs. Now, after learning a lot of things about verbs, it is the time to take a small exercise. Let's check your understanding. So here, in this sentence, identify the verb. The baby cried loudly. Which one is the verb? Next sentence, next question. Is this verb transitive or intransitive? The sentence is, she bought a dress. So here in this sentence, find the verb first and then tell me whether it is transitive or intransitive. Next one. What is the second form of see? Next. Make a sentence using the modal verb should. You try to answer all these 4 questions and do not hesitate to share your answers with me in the comment. I am eagerly waiting, desperately waiting to answer your comments, and I'm really gonna appreciate as well if your answer goes right. And if you make a mistake, no issues, you are going to learn out of your mistakes, okay? And that's it for today's lesson. I hope this simple and engaging explanation helped you understand verbs clearly. And remember, verbs are the heart of English sentences. Once you learn them, speaking becomes much easier. If you really enjoyed this lesson, make sure to like, share and subscribe to Learn English with Priyanka Chaudhary for more easy and practical English lessons. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep improving. Bye-bye.